Penny Holding, Kingman, Arizona. For the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to get information regarding the voting process, specifically verification process of the voting application of whether Mr. David Michael Rose is eligible to vote or hold office. I started in the recorder's office and spoke to Monique, the supervisor, and was told I could get a copy of the voting list, but they wanted to charge me $93.75. I explained to him I didn't want a voter list, I want a copy of his voter application. I asked her, when a person comes in to register to vote, what procedures are in place to make sure they are eligible to vote. She stated that the applicant checks the box stating that the eligibility to vote under penalty of perjury, but they do not verify application at this office. I said that what department and what person checks accuracy of an application. She stated the voter list is sent to the courts every quarter and whenever it's requested. So I sent a public request to Christina Spurlock. I received an email back. They do not check for eligibility whether a person has any out-of-state felonies or felonies in state. They only get a list for jury duty purposes only.
Also have been endorsed by Representative John Gillette to replace him in the Arizona House. I'm thankful for his service to this district, and he is going to be greatly missed. I know that when I'm at the Capitol, a lot of people, a lot of our other Republican legislators throughout Arizona are sad to see him go. He has been a fighter for election integrity, a fighter for exposing the waste, fraud, and abuse in the state, and I am going to be continuing that fight. I've been meeting with Representative Gillette, and he's sharing information with me, and he wants to hand that fight over to me so that we are continuing to expose the fraud, waste, and abuse with access and with what is going on in the state and the governor's crazy mess. So who am I? For those of you who don't know me, David Rose moved here, my family and I, in 2020. Pastor in Lake Havasu, Restoration Hope Church, and also had the great honor of serving on the presidential pastoral team to President Donald J. Trump in White House Faith Office and National Faith Advisory Board, which is a great honor.
So I sent a public request to Christina Spurlock. I received an email back. They do not check for eligibility whether a person has any out-of-state felonies or felonies in state. They only get a list for jury duty purposes only.
It's Pamela Hicks, and before it comes up from other people in the audience, could you explain to us your eligibility to run?
Absolutely, that's a great question. Thank you so much. So my eligibility to run, to hold office, to vote has been brought in question. I will say this, whenever I moved here and registered to vote in Arizona, I double-checked and triple-checked to make sure that I was legally able to register, and I was. Whenever I ran for school board, I contacted the Secretary of State's office to ensure that I was able to run for office. The elections department said, absolutely, you are eligible to run for office. Every election official in the state of Arizona, including for this race, the attorneys at the House of Representatives have verified I am eligible to serve, to run, and it is a law, and I do appreciate the person who is, question law, and that's part of our responsibility. I have no ill will or no anger. I have a great deal of respect for that individual, and I will say this, we have a responsibility as Americans to ask questions, and we may not like the answer, but we have a responsibility to ask questions, and I see nothing wrong with that, and I appreciate that individual, and I'm used to my past being attacked. And I will say this, the Democrats...
She's correct. When someone comes from out of state and just swears on an affidavit that they don't have felonies, it's on them, But we now know that several liberal states have been giving, CDLs to illegal aliens with no ID at all. So theoretically, they could move in to Arizona, go down to the MVD, hand over their CDL, and I don't know, tick the box, register to vote. The fact is, David Michael Rose is not eligible to hold his current office, any other office. He did register to vote. The case law is clear. I have three separate case precedents. The statutes 13907 and 908 require that an out-of-state felon file in the Superior Court. They don't even charge you. I mean, literally takes a simple Google search. You just have to put it into your phone. One question. I have out-of-state felonies. Am I able to register to vote in Arizona? You're going to get a whole page full of things, including lawyers who are willing to help you fill out the paperwork. David Michael Rose said last night at the precinct committee meeting, oh, I triple checked. I'm good. I've got this thing from the state of Kentucky. Well, his lawyer, which represented himself as the school board lawyer, and representing him as the chairman, but Mr. Rose said last night that he hired him as his campaign lawyer, so we don't know who actually paid for the lawyer's time. Sent me a cease and desist letter that showed this Department of Corrections thing from the state of Kentucky. And it says it's only good for Kentucky. I mean, it's very clear. And I checked the court records, and Mr. Rose has never, ever filed in Superior Court to have his rights restored in Arizona.
In our school board election, did try that and tried to challenge my eligibility, and they were told by the Secretary of State's office that I was eligible, and they left it alone. So there you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes, Jennifer Esposito, editor and publisher of the Mohave Free Press. My question is, since you were foolish enough to stick the school board attorney on me without getting authorization from the school board, I wanted to know if you would like a copy of the last 2 issues of my newspaper so that you can make good on your promise to sue me, because I stand by every word I wrote, so I filed a felony complaint against you with the State Attorney General's office, and we're all going to find out whether or not you actually are eligible. But I did bring you these because you'll need them as exhibits. Yes, I asked him if he'd like them, so you can give them to him if he wants them.
So just to clarify for you, the attorney is actually also my campaign attorney. The school district is not paying him, and I have no interest in suing you. I respect you, and I appreciate your efforts as a journalist, and I have no problem with that. Again, this is a free country. We have the freedom of speech to say what we want, do what we want. And so, again, Jennifer, I have no ill will towards you. I thank you for your service to this party and to Mohave County. And again, I'm not angry. I'll shake your hand and tell you, there's nothing wrong with what you've done, and I have no interest in suing you. And Tim Lasota also serves as my attorney for my campaign, and my campaign has paid him. So thank you for that.
So I sent a public request to Christina Spurlock. I received an email back. They do not check for eligibility.
Dave Johnson, where can I find your eligibility information, please?
Okay, so that's a great question. The state of Kentucky restored my rights, and the Secretary of State has said that because of that, the state of Arizona has no jurisdiction to restore my rights. And the thing is, and I did have this conversation with the election officials. However, the purpose of that law is if someone moves here and has moved, let's say moves to Mohave County, and their rights had not been restored before they moved here from another state, and then they want the rights to be restored, they have that opportunity then to apply for the rights to be restored. Here is the argument with that, including I had this conversation with our own Superior Court Clerk, Christine Spurlock, is they're going to tell you to go back to the state of which you were convicted so that they can restore you. That Arizona, including the Arizona Supreme Court, I had a conversation with one of the judges while I was at the Capitol for opening day and said, man, we got a law to fix because the language is not clear. And he said, yeah, we know, and he said Arizona has no jurisdiction over another state and cannot tell another state how to do anything. And so all I can tell is call the Secretary of State, the same way that I did. And again, I agree the law is very confusing, but Kentucky has restored my rights, and that makes me eligible in the eyes of the law and the Secretary.
If you look up ARS 13-908, Section C and D, both of them say that the person shall file the application for the restoration of the civil rights in the county in which the person now resides. The restoration of civil rights is in the discretion of the judicial officer. So, in my opinion, these two contradict each other, and the elections manual omits critical information. So what's the real answer? The election procedure manual, also on page 21, states that the registrant must affirm under penalty of perjury that they're not barred from registering to vote due to a felony conviction. But it also states a county recorder has no duty to verify whether the civil rights of a registrant with a felony conviction has been restored or may rely on the registrant's affirmation when registering to vote. So if the applicant commits perjury by checking the box on the application form, there is no process in place to catch it and to prosecute them for perjury. Also, Ms. Henry sent me an email. Mr. Rhodes registered on January 22nd, 2022 through the Arizona Department of Motor Vehicles. However, in her email that she sent me on the voter list, he was put on the voter list on January the 11th, 2022, 11 days before his application was received into the recorder's office. So I'm asking you, how is that possible?
So after hundreds of hours of reading case law and statutes and asking for second opinions and due diligence, I filed a felony criminal complaint against David Michael Rose with the Arizona Attorney General's office, and we're going to let them decide if he's eligible or not.
Our recorder, Lydia Henry, endorsed Mr. Rose for the position of LD30, which it appears to me that that's misleading the public into thinking he's eligible to vote for verification.